Liz's forte. So I'll take the front half of this. Liz will take the back end, and then we'll be here to obviously answer all your questions. There are all sorts of fun ways to interact with us. So we'll be doing polls at the end, and then if you have questions, don't be afraid to put those on the left-hand side there, and we'll answer those as we go. So without any other distractions, we'll hop right into this. So like I mentioned, I'm going to kind of cover the front end of this conversation, which is going to be building out your different add-ons and the different things that you want to sell, basically. So it could be in-store swag, it could be stickers, anything that you would want to sell in an online fashion and send out to your people. That is a great way, like we said, to generate some revenue, as well as keep yourself relevant and have something even to broadcast out into your social media platforms as well, because I'm sure it's a little tricky right now to find some content there. So the first thing that you want to do is set up through your POS. We're going to do that on the left-hand side here in Settings. And then on the right, we'll have a header that says Point of Sale. This is where we are going to spend most of our time here today. So we have a couple things built out already. I'm actually going to be adding one new inventory item to show you guys how to do it, and it'll be something that has a couple different modifiers on it. Some things are super simple, like you'll see our stickers. The stickers, we have like one variety, and you don't really have to use a modifier, but I'm actually going to add a shoe where you'd use like a shoe size, shoe color, and things like that. So setting up your categories is as simple as clicking in. As you can see, we have a couple different categories set up already. So we have apparel, PFDs, footwear, accessories, and stickers. These will also create POS tabs in your actual point of sale. So when people come into your office, that's what's going to be set up on your POS. We won't cover a whole lot of that today, but that also does translate to that portion. This is obviously going to be what is relevant to your guys' business. So if you don't have a lot of apparel, but you have a lot of different footwear, you would use footwear. If you have more food or maybe coffee, drinks, or snacks and stuff like that, this is going to be where you could actually add that category, create a tab for it, and track it through that, and assign those categories to your different items. So you can see we actually came in, we created ours already. We're actually going to be using footwear here. If you're going to do an add-on or create one, you click this button, put the name in. Let's just do food. We'll make one. This should be your POS label. And then we can just make this one sort position 6. The sort positions, you guys will see that in a lot of different places here, whether it be the tab position or sort order. That's going to be where that appears in your list of things. And we'll talk about that a couple different times as we go through building our online store, because you can actually group things together so when it comes up on your online page, it stays like your PFD stayed with the PFDs, your shoes stay with your shoes. But that's as simple as it is. Create it like that. All right. That one's pretty easy. We're going to go into modifiers now, which is just right below it. And you can see we've actually come in and we've created a bunch of these already for our different inventory items. This is also going to be very dependent on what you guys are doing in your own store and what different products you're using. You can see this is for one of our t-shirts. We have small, medium, large, XL for size. For colors, we have a bunch of different colors for the different items that we have, and we can label what they are so we can match them up appropriately. So we're going to do a shoe size, actually. So I'll click modifier up here. I'll do shoe size for the name. The description can be whatever helps you identify it when you're actually assigning it to your inventory item. So you can see here on the left, we have color and then color for Layla PFD. For us, shoe size is going to be pretty universal. So we'll just do that, and that way we can use it for every shoe that we put into the system. And then once we populate it, it'll come down into here. Then we have to go in and add our options. So again, this is where we will click into this. The first time that you create an option, it's going to be right here, and I'll show you what moves after that. We're going to start with size 7. We'll make that sort order 1 and save it. And then as we add more options to our shoe size, we just click back in. Up here on the right-hand side, we'll have the option to add another option. So we'll do size 8. Not 9, there we go. It's a Friday. and so on and so forth. So I'll just continue to go in to my shoe size. And I'll continue to build this out. For time's sake, I'm only going to do up to size 10. Sorry for anybody that has a smaller or larger shoe size than that. We'll get you in there someday. And you can see the sort order is going to be how they rank as they come in to your system. So I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4 as my sizes go up. Obviously, I can add all sizes in there, but like I said, for time's sake, we are just going to do that one. I've also already previously built out my color options for the shoes that we're going to be going into. You'll notice we have a lot of Astral merchandise pieces in here. A lot of our team is very fond of their shoes and PFDs and even their dog beds. So a lot of the stuff that we're using today is going to be through Astral. Once you have your modifiers built out for your inventory items, you can actually build the inventory. Now, while we're in the settings page, I do want to mention both cash stores and vendors options that are here in the point of sale as well, just because we're already looking at them. You do want to set up different cash stores if you have several spots where you're taking in the money. These are essentially going to be in your POS as you're logging in. If you have different offices or different locations, you can set up different cash stores for that. So that's what you are seeing when you see cash stores. And then vendors are actually going to be the people that you're dealing with who handle your inventory. You can set up some different reporting methods to track when you get to a reorder point. If you run a report, you can actually see what you need to go ahead and order. And I'll show you guys as we set up actually our add-ons how you build that inventory. But from in here is where you'd be able to track all of these things. I'll click into Astral just to give you an idea of what you're looking at here. You can have your contacts, their email address, blah, 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 mailing address, and then we have, obviously, best life jackets and shoes ever. This is an employees only note, so you can put whatever you need to have right there. And then you can associate a vendor with an item. So those are all the options in that POS tab in settings. If you're looking at that and you're setting up your own stuff here, that's what every single one of these is going to mean to you. Cool. All right, so we're going to move on to actually building this add-on for our shoe right here in inventory. So we'll click in just like you're building a trip or a rental or a lodging type, and you'll go into new add-on. From here, we'll give it a name. So we're actually going to be doing the Astral Low Yak AC Lens. And for our shoes, we'll do, I don't think we've used orange yet. If we have, I'll come back and change it. And our sort order for the shoes is going to be 3. Category will be footwear. I don't necessarily need a date or a time with my web cart item since it's more of a product. So I'm going to click that to hide that. Make sure it's active. And then we are going to sell these for $110 per pair. Pretty snazzy shoes. We can add a marketing description here. So let's see. We'll put Astral's best shoe for water sun-based lifestyle. Blah, blah. And then you can actually have it be different for your add-on description and your marketing description. The marketing description is a little bit shorter. It's more, it's down to 300 characters. This one can be as long as you want it to be, but we'll just keep it the same for both. But obviously, you guys can switch that up if you want to change it based on a shorter description based on your longer description. So I've got that set up. And now we're going to move into, obviously you can go all through all these different things. Most people will set that up just with your basic stuff. But if you have like an override that applied to just your apparel or something like that, if you wanted to do like 100% of the value, which I think is a pretty smart move since it's merchandise, you can set that up in there so people are paying full price when they buy the merchandise. The next part that I want to cover is the modifiers. So these are what we actually set up earlier in the back office side. So on these modifiers, I can go in and you can see everything that I've added in as a modifier as an option to add to this inventory item. So this one is a shoe, so I'm going to grab shoe size. And then I grab the colors of the Astral Low Yak. as my modifier 2. You are limited to up to 3 modifiers, which is rarely do people use all 3 for their things, but it does happen occasionally. But then you do have unlimited options as far as how many options you add in there. So I could have added, 15 other color choices just in that color spot. And then I'll go ahead and add my add-on. So I've created my merchandise in my inventory. There's a couple more things I want to do as I am building this out. One is definitely you want to add some images in here. So I will choose some files. I'm going to go into my folders here, grab some pictures from the shoes, and I'm going to add 5 photos. I'm going to upload them all. And once those are uploaded, they're going to show up for me on the left-hand side. So I grab different colors, and then I grab the top and the bottom view of the shoe so everybody kind of gets a good view of what they're going to be sporting while they're out doing fun activities. And then I want to go in and add some inventory. Here on the right side, we'll click Add POS Inventory Item, and that's going to bring up my screen to do so. Now, this can take you some time to do, and you do want to be diligent as you do it, so you're marking through and keeping track of your inventory as you go. Every piece of inventory in your store can have a SKU code. It can be anywhere from, I believe, 6 to 10. They say shoot for 10 digits on there, and you want every single code in your store to be different. These are going to correspond with barcodes, so if you had a barcode scanner, you'll be able to scan those in and pull up your inventory on the POS side as people are shopping in your store. Obviously, we're kind of focusing on the online store portion, so that isn't super relevant today, but as you're setting up your POS for your season and in your store, that would be where you'd want to do your barcode scanning. Next, we're going to go ahead and pick our location. So if you do have multiple locations, that's where you would do this. We're just going to select Adventure Office. This is where we would select our shoe size. So this is what I'm saying. It can be a little bit time consuming, and you want to do this right the first time is adding in your different inventory items for different sizes and different colors. So I would have to come in and do size 7 in navy. I can select Astro as my vendor if I'd like to. And then I can go ahead and select a start quantity of, we'll have 5 in stock at all times. The desired quantity is actually what the desired stock you have in there when you're fully stocked. So if you want to have 5 on your full stock list, that's where you put that number. So that's how many you want to have in store optimally when you're fully stocked. And then the reorder point is obviously, excuse me, when you want to go ahead and reorder that piece of inventory. So we'll just put 2 here, and then the rest of this will actually track as you sell them. If you have a shipment come in, you can actually add them in, or if you know off the top of your hand, hey, you threw up a pair at one of your guides for doing a good job in picking up some extra slack, you could actually go ahead and say, hey, I know I only have 4 on hand. I will update the spreadsheet as you go. So once I save this, it'll add that POS inventory item in. And again, I want to add that in for every single one of my options. So I will go ahead and do size 8 in navy and kind of go through the same process as before. For time's sake, I'm just going to do these 2 sizes for this shoe. But as you would go through, I can show you an example actually of one that we have a bunch of different items on. We'll do the YTB jacket. So you can see my inventory. I went through and I built out every single bit of these jackets from different sizes and colors all the way through. So that's what you want to do as you build out your inventory and build those things in, so when they go onto the online store, your guests can actually make those purchases. That's a lot of information in a short amount of time, but it is pretty straightforward. We'd love to help you guys if you need help setting that stuff up and walk you through it again. And, of course, this webinar is going to be available for you guys once we're done here. But since we're kind of done with the back office side stuff here, I'm actually about to pass the controls over to Liz, and she is going to walk you guys through integrating this into your web pages and moving from there. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. I'm going to switch this over.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Liz. Hopefully you can see my screen now. So thank you, Dan, for that awesome rundown of the POS system. What we're going to do as far as the inventory that he and I have already created in here in our system, and then the one that you just walked through together with him, we're going to go in and look at installing them on your website and just finding those web links for the time being and for the future. I know right now a lot of people cannot get people in the store or should not have people in their store, so you want an outlet for selling some merchandise and making some revenue now. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend most of our time on the Settings Adventure Web Links page. That is where, if you're familiar with installing your iframes for your other activities and your lodging and things like that, rentals. This is the exact same page, this specific database. We just have those retail items included in, so that's all you're going to see here. But this is the same exact setup that you would use to get your other activities and things like that online. So I've got a couple different pages here. We've got add-ons, and then I'm going to show you some gift cards too. But this web links page has all these different drop-downs that you can select from for the right link to install on your site. So you'll see there's one that says add-ons in general. That's got all 21 of the items that we have added into the system. And you can install them each if you'd like to do like just a single page. For the most part, most of your merchandise shops, this would be like the single page for one of our shopping items. But for the most part, you're probably going to be using a list view. So you'll want to stay in either the add-on results pages, or we're going to work with categories today. So what I'm going to show you here is a couple different views of them already installed. I've got a little website here that has all of our products, and then we've got all of our different categories built out that you saw Dan going over in the beginning in our inventory. So you can shop you can shop apparel, PFDs, accessories, stickers, and gift cards. So aside from gift cards, they're in their own little section. Those categories match all of our different POS categories that you see here, inventory categories. So what we've got installed on this page is just a main shopping page. You'll see all the different items. If I refresh, I'll see that new shoe that Dan and everyone just added. So we've got some apparel, different types of jackets, things like that. And then we've got the Loyak right here that he just added in. So this is just a basic list view of all of our products that we have for sale. So this link right here, this is installed in an iframe on this sample website, and it is coming from that results page for add-on results. So if you're in the Adventure Web Links page and you open this one, you can see it's this exact list right here. So it's just a combination of all the products that we have available. You might want to do that if you have just one shop now item or button on your page and things like that. And then you might want to do that if you have gift cards included. Right now you're selling just the items you have in stock, some merchandise plus some gift cards and things like that. You can put them all on one page together. So that's our basic results add-ons page. From there, we have categories down here that I talked about. So each of these it goes by that category that you're attaching when you're adding inventory. The accessories, apparel, footwear. I'm going to click into stickers because we've got kind of a long list of those. So this is the page right here. Now when you're doing the work to install your iframe, you'll use the iframe code surrounding it if that's how you're installing them on your website. And then you'll put that specific URL in it. And then like we have here on the stickers page, it's got that iframe installed with all of our different stickers that are available. So as long as you're setting up those categories, that's the main thing here. Setting up categories and attaching it, that's what's going to provide you with these links that you can use so that you can kind of organize your website accordingly. And then there is the next option for kind of sorting is operating locations. We only have one set up for this sample website that we did, but obviously what you can do here is if you have multiple retail locations, if you have, a shop in 2 different places, you can organize by operating location as well. And then if you have separate websites or something like that, different links on social media, you can have both of those listed. So if you have mountain and river, kind of like Dan did the cash drawers, you could separate those here as well. Cool. That's kind of everything on the Adventure Web Links page. The other thing we're going to go over is gift cards, because I know a lot of you are selling gift cards right now. We have a decent amount of questions on that. So I'm going to touch on that, and then I'll just kind of walk through the front end of it with everything installed. Gift cards, right now we have just one. So I've got just a basic REI gift card in here, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to create another one. So if you don't have gift cards set up right now for your store, you can go ahead and do that kind of with this instruction. If you do, it might just help you out a little bit if you haven't done it recently or something like that. So we've got 4 different rates on this one. I'm going to create a new one here. So I'll do new gift card. And I'm not sure what color we need it to be, but I'm going to make it that one. And we'll put it first. There are 2 things. I'll actually go back to this after we add this gift card into inventory. There are 2 messages that need set up for you to have gift cards enabled. So I'll go back to that in a second. I already have it turned on for this system, so I'm going to select it right here. It's the gift card recipient email. So that's just attaching a template to the recipient email that's going to go out when someone purchases a gift card, and they say they can either choose themselves as the recipient or they can send it to a friend or someone else. And that's the email that will go out to them. This is the one that you have set up in settings. We can put a description if we want. All right, so setting up a gift card, it has a rate just like any of your activities, just like any of your add-ons. It matches your activities, your lodging, and things like that a little bit closer than it does add-ons, because you actually do have to create a rate season. So I'm going to create a rate first for the rate plan, and then it's going to prompt me for that season to make it active. So let's do $100. So then this is the rate season that we'll set up, and I'm just going to make it active starting, I'll backdate it, so it started April 1st. This is the active rate for right now. I'm going to save that back to the main rate plan, and then I'm going to save it again. Okay, so then we've added the $100 rate. A lot of our customers, what they do here is if you have specific trips that are an odd dollar amount, it's $100.58 or it's $257 or something like that. You can create your gift cards for that rate and then say, hey, this is for a 2-person canoe trip to Curtis Creek or something like that, or a rafting trip for 6 people. They total that up so that you can purchase it, especially in these times when people are wanting to book trips and they can't necessarily. Then it kind of locks them into having that right dollar amount rather than owing you $7 or something odd like that. I'm going to add a second rate here just so that we can see it in action when I look online. And the important thing on these pages is sometimes we get calls and support that you've created a rate season, but it's not completely active. So the important thing with this page right here is when you're in the rate season page, you save, you go back to the main rate plan that is the parent of the season, and you save it again. You got to hit that save twice, and then it'll create it right here. And then I'm going to save the overall rate plan. Okay, so now we've got the gift card. I'm going to add an image just like Dan did for our items so that it looks pretty to your customers. All right. And then we are going to see it in action on this page. Okay, so the second gift card I had preloaded. This one's the one we just created. So right here on this page, just as we kind of went over on the merchandise or the add-on side of things, this is just a combination gift card link that I have installed here. Excuse me. So we've got, let's go to it right here. Results pages. It is this link right here, so it's gift card results. That's going to populate any of the gift card options. So like I mentioned, if you have those different rates or different gift cards for a 6-person trip, a 4-person trip, etc., you can have them listed all on one page on your website. And that's what this is right here. When we're purchasing a gift card as a customer, the value is just their selection, and then they do purchaser name, recipient name, and then recipient email. So this is where that template comes into place. It is, if you leave it blank, you can send the gift card to yourself if you want to actually give it out as a gift, and or the customer wants to give it out as a gift and they don't want the email to go automatically. But if they do want to send it as an email, they can put their message specifically right here. They put their recipient's email in, and then it uses the template that you have set up in settings, and it sends them that email. And then, so what we're going to do is we'll look at that in the back office here. So you're probably familiar with the messages page. There are 2 of them that you have to turn on for gift cards. The confirmation thank you is what goes out to the purchaser, whether the purchaser matches the recipient or not. So that's going to be under here. If you don't have these turned on yet, it's going to be in the validation messages, and you'll have to find it about halfway down the list, I think, and then use the green plus sign to turn it on. So the gift card thank you email confirmation, and then the gift card recipient email. So this is where you'll use merge fields to say, this is a gift card recipient email, you're receiving this from, purchaser name, whatever information you want there, and then that's where you include the gift card code, and it's the value and the expiration date if you want, so that customer receiving it knows. Cool, okay, so I think that's everything for the most part that I have. Let's see. We went over gift cards, we went over web links, and then the web links page, these will change as you add the different categories and things like that, and as you add different items, obviously, it auto-updates. So if you have a list of hundreds of add-ons, they're all going to be in there. If you have 10 more categories than we have created right here, it's going to add those links as you create them in the back office, and you can install them however you normally do on your site with iframes. Cool. I think that's everything. If you guys have questions, we're going to do Q&A now, and Dave Butterfield is going to put out some polls. If you want to answer those while you're on the call. So I don't see any questions yet, but if you have any, just use that little Q&A on the left-hand side where you see it as the menu, and we will answer those for you.
Good job, Liz.
Thanks, Dan. And thank you guys for coming.
Yes, great job, Liz.
Listening to us.
We'll also go over those questions as they come in, so if you guys want to hang on, and I'll get these polls sent out.
This is probably a good time to plug our Capterra reviews, which we have been sending some newsletters and things out to you guys recently. There's a website called capterra.com, which you can see on the graphic we just pulled up here. And we're asking people who have had a great experience with us to go on to capterra.com and leave a review for us and help us build a better repertoire there as people are coming and looking for new softwares to integrate into their own businesses or maybe take their business to the next level. Anything you guys put on there is helpful to those people who are shopping around, so it's super helpful and really appreciate that.
Okay, it looks like we got some questions coming in. Liz, do you want to go ahead and take off with them, or do you want me to guide you guys through them?
I've got them up
Sure,
here. I see one that
You guys might be
says,
able to.
what's the
Yeah, you
purpose
might be able
of
to.
flag?
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Brandy asked, what is the purpose of the flag colors? I'm assuming she's talking about the ones that are in the custom details and history pages where you can actually select a different alert, or are you talking about flags in the inventory? I see.
Inventory, yeah.
Yeah, to group things together and kind of track everything at the same. You'll notice, I don't know if you want to pull that back up, Liz, or not, but we used our flags to show our different groups. So, for example, our stickers were all yellow, I believe. The footwear was orange. PCs were teal. So you can kind of use that to keep all of your categories in the same list. Yeah, that's perfect. So we did accessories in like a lime green, stickers in yellow. It's more of like an organizational thing. I love color coding, so it always helps me out.
Yeah, Brandy, you can use them. I just like them in the back office. I like the organization of it. So what we did is we matched each color to their sort order. So you can see we have, when your retail list gets long, this is super helpful because this add-ons page, they're all going to come together dependent on the sort order. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 that you see in this column right here, we matched all the 5s are yellow, all the 4s are bright green, just like Dan just said, so that it kind of makes everything just pretty and organized. But that's just back office specific. The customer doesn't see any of that.
The three of our next questions are all related to shipping. So the first one is from Jess. She says, we'd like to do free shipping on orders over $50. Is that something that's possible to do in the system? So
we
as of
currently
now,
yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Right now, there's really no like specific way that you have to do a shipping charge. With that being the case, I don't know. There might be something we can do with the 50 and up. We'd have to look into it. There's nothing that I know off the top of my head, unless you guys know anything different.
Yeah, it's not necessarily existent right now. There's a couple of different ways that our current customers that are doing online stores that they do shipping, and it's mostly based on another add-on or a required add-on that they do as a certain dollar amount or percentage. So we don't have that full like shipping suite built out for mainly when that comes into play. You have to calculate, the shipping from your operational location to the customer's address that they put in, and we don't have all of those functions in place yet. So just free shipping over 50 is a great question. We can look at doing that with the add-on setup that we already have, and that might be a possibility that we can make it come into play when the order is a certain dollar amount or over. But we are looking at the shipping options and kind of trying to build that out and help you guys with it. Right now, we just don't have the kind of full suite in place.
Yeah, as more people are moving to use this functionality too, we're obviously looking to do a little bit more development on it. It's just we're kind of taking those steps now and testing through things. I think that also kind of answers Doris and Steve's questions. One was, does it calculate tax allocations of item being shipped, and how do you add a shipping charge to an online order? I guess what a lot of people are doing, or the people that are using this as is they're creating a mandatory add-on for shipping, which is a percentage-based or like a fixed price on shipping. So you could do like a percentage base that you think is going to cover your shipping. 10 to 13, 15%, if you will. So that's one way to do it. But again, like Liz said, we're kind of looking at different ways where we can kind of streamline that whole process. Nancy asked, do you suggest setting up a separate web store or just put together a page on our existing website? Liz, you're kind of our website guru. What's your opinion?
Yeah, totally up to you, Nancy. But a lot of our customers just have like a shopping tab or a merchandise tab or something like that, swag on their website. So instead of having, I have just this sample site built out so it's specifically all about shopping. That's not realistic for our customer base. You probably have rafting and camping and all of those different things, and then you would maybe have a tab that says like online store or shopping, and then you could just have the pages built out from there. But it's totally up to you during like these times if you want to have the separate site or separate landing pages that are specifically for what's going on right now to like highlight your gift cards and your merchandise. You can do that as well.
Awesome. Caitlin's asking, how do we get the add-ons order in the inventory add-ons to match the POS order? And I could be wrong on this, Liz, but that's going to match your sort order, correct?
Yes, I think so, yeah, because when you're creating it overall in here as an add-on and turning it on for POS, or are you talking, she might be talking about that when you're in adding inventory, I don't think there's a sort order there. And let me go back to it. You did Loyax. Point of sale inventory. Yeah, there's, let's see. Yeah, there's no sort order associated here. So, Caitlin, if I go to the normal point of sale, I think it's set up on here. I can show you.
I think you're on the right track, Liz, because she did say no after I said what I said, so I think you're probably helping answer her question.
Sorry, my system's being a little slow for a second here on my computer. But the point of sale inventory, there we go. So if I go to the register here, this sort order matches what we have set up. So apparel's first, PFD second, footwear third, accessories, etc. And then each of the jackets, each of the apparel items are set up in the same order that they are in the back office.
Cool. That is the questions that we have here. I think we've gotten through most of our polls.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next week.